What is good and what is evil is a question that, because of the lack of answer to it from me, along with an aversion to making my works too referential to other of mine, in not having made works about many of my beliefs, are things which I feel greatly lessens the understandability of what I produce. So in this work, I intend to, in a mildly paradoxical manner, explain what I believe the core of all good and all evil to be, such that I can use it as a necessary reference piece in my other works. Creation and destruction, being and non-being. Simply, this is what I believe to be the root of all good and evil. That all good can be traced to the essence of purely existing, and acting to create and further solidify the existence of matter, validating existence, and that all evil can be traced to an essence of non-existence and acting to destroy and pull towards an end of being, nullifying existence, being an immaterial void and nothingness. That everything good is such because of its existence, and that everything is good because it exists, and that it drives towards more existence, or what exists to exist more, and that everything bad is such because it is not actually an existing thing, but non-existence of anything where there should be something. A non-existence that has a quality of maintaining its non-existence, that drives existing matter towards non-existence or less existence. It is something quite hard, or probably impossible for the human mind to truly understand, because the human mind can't comprehend nothingness in itself. Still, all bad stems from lack of being, in driving to a lack of being, like being moralist, not taking action, a lack of self-control, in more. And I do know I'm playing semantics now, and that it probably also only works in European languages, but it goes to show what I mean. And also European languages are superior, so they have more truth to them. Uh, that's just how things work. Long live Europe! Glory to Europe! Save Europe! Things like sadness, disloyalty, cowardice, and idiocy aren't truly things, but instead the lack of things. A lack of a quality of preserving its non-being. And for example, the previously mentioned things are the lacking of happiness, loyalty, bravery, and intelligence. This nothing acts like a black hole, pulling things towards it, to make them part of its nothingness, to destroy them, forming something comparable to cracks in existence, and using them to make parts of existence act towards it, enlarging its cracks. The void of nothingness stealing the place of something that exists, then filling a spot that's meant to have an input that affects other parts of existence, makes it exceedingly easy for the void to spread itself in its cracks, using parts of existence like a wolf in sheep's clothing, enticing others towards it, only for them to be met with destruction and nullification when they embrace the false sheep. The abyss with no laws, order or reason, just a one-way downwards plunge into nothingness. Things that are fully destructive like death, deceit and damage are evils born out of complete nothingness, being without life, without truth, and without entirety. Where things that are born out of manipulativeness, the more common of the two, being things like addiction, adultery, and autolatry that are evils born of the cracks, subverting its victims into destructive things that enlarge in them towards the abyss. Non-existence is something so opposite of existence that it attains a sort of cosmic horseshoe effect, where despite being an extreme opposite of existence, which is related, logical, orderly, material and causal, whereas non-existence is unrelated, illogical, unorderly, immaterial and uncausal, to such an extent that it starts to almost parallel existence and almost resemble it. It is so unrelated that it starts to look related and like one thing, and it is so illogical and filled with irrationality and without order and reason that it starts to look almost logical and orderly. It is so immaterial and so intensely void in nothing that it starts to resemble something. It starts to look existing. It is so uncausal that it acts as though it is causal. It starts to appear so similar that it looks as another world clashing with ours, as if another existence manifests along ours, having other laws, logics, and orders conflicting with those of ours. But this is something obviously untrue, because another existence would only pull it in one other direction, one that wouldn't be too destructive, unlike the current evil pull, which inherently pulls in all sorts of directions, only having the commonality that they all go downwards, being far from the pull of anything logical and orderly, like that which characterizes existence. It has a destination, but no absolute road to it, the opposite of existence, which has a road in order, but no destination beyond the continuation of going the same order, as the laws and rules of the cosmos do, being constantly the same on the same road without an end goal. Evil has a destination, nothingness, whereas good only has an order to go by. Nothingness has no point to it. It is just void for the sake of void. It has no increase or no decrease, just nothingness. Where existence is being for the sake of being. Existence and non-existence are opposites, good and evil, for the pure reason of what they are and what their natures are. Existence is good because all that exists is good, and void is evil because all that it is just the opposite of existence. Hence why existence is good just for existing, and nothingness is bad just for not existing, despite both somewhat being the same state. Thus, the purpose of everything, including life, is simply to exist, because existence and good are one and the same. And why nothingness is pointless and evil, because those three things are all the same. And I know I'm sounding repetitive and nonsensical, but just try and explain nothingness yourself. It's not simple. Even though destruction, nothingness, and evil are all such violent, disgusting non-things that are but a growing void. Ironically, they can only be with existence. They are created things. Nothingness is only something that can be as a contrast to being, in an opposite, coming second to it. Death can only be as an after to life, as an end to it. Destruction can only be if there is something to be destroyed. A hole can't be where nothing is. And evil can only be a crack that grows in something larger that exists, enticing something that is to break and destroy such that it becomes larger and bigger. But if evil destruction destroys all there is, it also destroys itself and ends its own nothingness. That is only a contrast to thing. It is a force that can't ever be the greater or larger one in the cosmic war between good and evil. And because of that, it is also one that can't ever win it. Evil is the great cosmic accident. It is the only accident possible for the perfect, infinite, and good existence to do, because good and evil are so radically different forces, and so radically too and unmixable, that good could never even conceive of evil, and because of that, it despite of its infinite knowledge, it accidentally created the only thing that couldn't be known to it, the opposite of everything that it is, evil. Creating nothingness by creating things in such a way it made holes of void in them to be filled later, that then because of its contrast to existence, became as if they were things themselves, being so non-causal, illogical, unorderly, and unrelated, that it almost is as those things, and thus evil came to the world, and from then it as creation spread, also spread, and as good as infinite and all-knowing, it just like us can't fully know the unknowing in nothing, only its effects, and by that the cosmic war started. I know this is extremely schizophrenic, but I'm just based and ultra schizophrenic. Embrace the schizo! The way we know evil is the same we know a whole, not from knowing it itself, but from the lack of something else where it is. It is a nothingness in the place where something should be, that becomes almost material to us, despite actually being the exact opposite. To such a point, we have names for it. It affects us both mentally and physically, and we've invented things just to remove them. I'm repeating myself, but it is to explain how truly impossible it is for us to comprehend nothingness without putting a layer of existence over it, and to showcase how even if it's just a lack or nothingness, it can still have great impacts and effects on the existing, and despite being a great nothingness, it can still drastically change the world and pull it in a negative direction, and seem so existing and seem like another force of the universe, despite in reality only being a bunch of nothingness. We can only combat evil when we understand what it is, even if we do not understand it fully. We need to understand that evil is the call of the void, tempting us to walk away from the order and path of the world into chaotic nothingness. It is the byproduct of the freedom to walk this order and path how we want. We have been given that unfortunately also lets us heed the call of the void and stick our hands out of the path into evil nothingness, to disappear into it and bring other with us into it. To betray our world, to betray God, to embrace the devil, to embrace evil. The entirety of existence, good in creation, and the order of the world is what God is, and God is all there is, and the devil all there isn't, and everything in each domain is a part of them. All there exists is a part of God's totality. The perfectly orderly and perfectly pure are parts of God, and the impure and corrupt are parts of the devil, two forces completely unmixable and opposite of each other. The soul is the fully pure spiritual part of us. It is a part of God, and the metaphysical body is the fully corrupt spiritual part of us. It is the nothingness within. They are completely unmergeable. They can only beat each other by removing each other. The good and godly can only create. The good and godly can only create things to remove nothingness, and the evil and devilish can only destroy things to remove existence. They can never mix. They can only ever both be present at once in a thing, trying to sway it towards furthering each of their own elements. Like a wall with a hole in it. The wall has both the being, the fully intact wall within it, and the non-being, the hole in it, each completely distinct things that can't be mixed together, but are still present simultaneously in one thing. In the totality of everything's fully intact part, the good part is godly. In the totality of everything's fully non-being part is the evil part, which is devilish. Everything simultaneously has both a totality of itself that has both elements within, and two fully distinct natures that are both fully good and fully evil, and unmixable. Good is existence, and evil is non-existence. It is a force that needs good to be able to exist itself, and can only be understood by covering it over with a layer of existence. It is something we must eternally struggle against, to return everything to the fully good, to the order it was meant to be in. The world we live in is one that is made of both good and evil. Good being what originates it, being the true, material, superior, and evil being what perverts it, the false, absence, and inferior. These two elements are wholly incompatible and different, and thus they can never be interwoven, and because of this, everything effectively has two versions of itself, the fully pure good one and the fully corrupt evil one. The world has two faces at war with each other. It is of the utmost importance that it is returned to how it was meant to be, with one face, one direction, one order, full and complete, without the face that is a contrast made from the absence of order. Good must win.